Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Brewing with Magic. Well, I recently came across this really fun BANT best of 3 deck. The only problem was all the blue cards were in the sideboard, and that just doesn't work for us. So we had to do a few adjustments, and hey, there you go. We got some blue cards in the main deck. But before we get into that, if you don't mind doing us a favor and hitting that subscribe button. It's free, it's fast, but it really helps support me and the channel and get us out to a much bigger audience. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know whenever we have new content come out. So, what do we have for you today? We have BANT Midrange, and we could have made this a sneaky BANT deck and had no blue land in it at all, but I kind of like having the blue land in it because of the fact that it makes your opponent play differently. So you could either catch them off guard or make them play weird because they're like, what's that blue about? Do they have a counter spell? Well, guess what? Yes, we do. So that's what we have at the top of the deck. Is we have 2 copies of Test of Talents. I don't know why that's the one I picked. I guess that way if they blood on the snow us, we don't have to ever see it again. There's many other choices we could have picked, but that is the one we went with. So that's probably a good flex spot as far as whatever counter spells you think are the most fun or doing the most in your current meta, whether it's Sock Coming, Disdainful Stroke, Test of Talents, whatever it may be. That's what we're going with though. And our 2 drop slots, we have 4 Prosperous Innkeepers for ramp, 4 Tangled Florahedron, either land or ramp, and 1 Catilda Dawnheart Prime. First off, it's got that protection from werewolves. Gotta love it. Absolutely amazing. Secondly, human creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. So that's useful. We have a human up here. We've got a human over here. And I believe that's all of our humans. But it's enough humans to make it work. And then you can also, late game, because this deck is going to get there with the mana, pay 1 white, 1 green, and 4 colors. Tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That can be a big deal later in the game because, as you'll see in the gameplay, we're going to have a lot of creatures a lot of the time. At our 3 drop slot, we have 2 copies of Brutal Cathar. I think this maybe should be 3 or 4. This card is absolutely bonkers, super strong. It's a removal in our deck, and the nice thing is if you pass the turn, now you've got a 3/3 first striker with ward, pay 3 life, and then if you double spell or they do, it flips back, taking a whole nother creature. I really enjoy playing the card. We have 3 copies of Elite Spellbinder because it's Elite Spellbinder. You throw that on turn 3, your opponent's like, next turn I'm gonna stabilize because blah blah. No, it's gonna be a few more turns, my friend. Amazing card. Redain, God of the Worthy, is both great on the front and back side depending on who you're playing. You throw it on the front side and all your opponent's lands are coming into play tapped if they're snow lands. So against anybody playing Blood on the Snow or anything like that, you're going to slow them down immensely, and they have to single target remove this for the second clause where, non-creature spells cost 4 more, cost 2 more. So, they've got to handle that. And if you're going against somebody with a whole bunch of 1/1s, going wide, anything tricky like that, then you throw it on the Protector Shield side and get yourself a little bit of protection that way. We have 1 copy of Scoot Swarm in the deck because, like I said, we have lots of ways to be grabbing land or playing land, whether we choose to throw this down as a land late game, whether we're going to go grab it with some of the other cards we're about to get into. Then at our 4 drop slot, we have 4 copies of Feldar's Retreat. I don't get to play this in enough decks. It's a blast to play if you can get it on the board and stabilize. It just takes over the game. So much fun. We have 4 copies of Ezekiel's Chariot. Lets us go wide with the 2/2s even if they destroy the Chariot. Plus, if you're going to play Ren and 7, you should be playing with Ezekiel's Chariot. I just think it's such an amazing card. And Ezekiel's Chariot also plays very well with Yasharn. If you already have Chariot out, then you go ahead and throw Yasharn. It can fire up the Chariot, make the copies, Chariot attacks, and you get yourselves 2 lands for your hand, which is going to go ahead and fire up your Feldar's Retreat, your Scoot Swarm, and stuff like that even more on the subsequential turns, unless you didn't throw a land, of course, that turn. Speaking of lands being amazing in play for you and why you want to be grabbing them with things like Yasharn, 4 copies of Ren and 7. The more land we have in play, the bigger those token creature tree folk are, and that's what we want. We want big old huge tree folk. That way when we power up the Chariot and copy them, we have more big old huge tree folk. So I absolutely love it. Then we have in our utility slot, or our top end slot, whatever you want to call it, not so much utility, our top end, we have 3 copies of Storm the Festival and 3 copies of Amiria's Call. Early game, you're always going to be throwing Amiria's Call down as a land. Whether it's tapped or untapped is up to your board state. But I highly suggest throwing it as a land unless you're within 2 land of being able to throw this card, and then hold on to it maybe for a minute and throwing those big old 4/4 creatures. One thing to note, as you will see in the gameplay, if you're going to play a Storm of the Festival and you have a Wrenn and 7 on the board, even if it only has 3 tokens left on it, it might be in your best interest to minus it out and get the token, because it's never fun when you haven't used any of your Wrenn and 7 abilities. You Storm the Festival, and one of the cards that you get is your Wrenn and 7, because you're going to put the new one out, so you just got nothing out of the old one. Even if you would have +1'd it or 0'd it, do something with it before you Storm the Festival so that you don't have the fill bads. Let's get into our land real quick. We have 2 copies of Cave of the Frost Dragon. It gets over the opponent's low creatures to finish out games, or it gets, by board wipes, and you can finish out the game that way. Same thing most creature lands do. They just survive board wipes for you. We have 2 plains, 3 forests, 2 of the blue-white pathway, and we also have 2 of the green-blue pathway. Make sure that once you have thrown one of these on blue, you no longer throw either of them on blue if you get them again. You only need 1 blue mana pip, period. If you have 2 tested talents in your hand and you think you need to go into a counter war, I guess throw a second one out there so that you can do that, but you really shouldn't have to, especially with the Prosperous Innkeeper treasure tokens. You have this. I highly suggest only doing 1 at a time. We have 4 pathways on color, we have 4 of the new dual lands on color, and we have 2 Field of Ruins. So it's a really fun deck. I can't wait to show you exactly what it's got going on. Don't forget to stick around till the end for the summary, plus what I think you should and shouldn't be crafting with your wild cards. And without further ado, let's go ahead now and get into that gameplay. What's up, Nate Dogg? We go first. We got 4 lands with the Amelia's Call. Prosperous Innkeeper ×2, Storm the Festival. Let's keep it. We can ramp up to Storm the Festival on turn 4, I believe. The way things are looking. Let's go with a forest first. We'll go into a pathway on white with an Innkeeper next. There is the blue for sneaky later. The Test of Talents, I should say. We still need blue mana, or we could just use the treasure, but we have blue land in the deck. Less sneaky at that point. So I don't think we're mono white. Oh, we're definitely not. And they put that on white. Well, I mean, maybe they're mono white. They're not showing us much. So let's go ahead and put out another forest into another Innkeeper. We'll get in for 1 past the turn, and next turn we could Storm the Festival. That is white-green. So there is a Righteous Valkyrie on our tails. Let's put out the farmland. Let's Storm that festival. Let's grab... Ooh. Feldar's Retreat. And I guess Brutal Cathar. Let's go ahead and get that Righteous Valkyrie out of the way. And swing in for 2. We could Field of Ruins and sacrifice it, get 2 triggers on that. There is another Righteous Valkyrie. So we're not actually going to play any land this turn. We're going to flip this. Let's put out, let's see, view battlefield. Get ourselves a +1. So that's white-green, that's white-green, that's white, that's white. So it really doesn't matter what we do here, but let's go ahead and do this and just pop that. We'll get ourselves another white source so that we'll have 3 for Amelia's Call. They're going to go ahead and tap that green. You never know when they need it. We'll grab ourselves that white. Get another trigger. Oh, some black. Sneaky. We're going to go +1s again. We're going to run in with everything. They can't kill the 3/3s, at least not that we know of. So they can block 1, absorb some damage. And then we're just going to pass the turn, and it flips to night. And if they cast 2 spells right now, then I'm going to eat their other Righteous Valkyrie. I think they got a removal spell, so they're going to kill the Moon Rage Brute and get themselves a 2/4 back, a Realm Walker. So maybe they don't. They're either slow rolling us on the removal. Grab the black. Oh, okay. So they cast 1 spell. I think the play here, I think it's Feldar's Retreat again, and then drop the other land. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that. Let's drop land. There's no point in paying any life, I don't think. So it just enters tapped. And let's create a 2/2 and give them all 1/1s. Oh, I did it backwards. I did it backwards! I forgot! You know how the stack works, Alan. We'll go ahead and... I wish I could have cast 2 spells that turn. They're going to block the 6/6. That makes me think they're going to board wipe us. But maybe they're... Oh, it was game over if they didn't. Math is for blockers, and our opponent did the math. I'm so afraid of board wipes all the time now. Luminarch Aspirant. Don't think we're afraid of that. Legion Angel. Not bad. Not afraid of it, but not bad. They just cast 2 spells, right? Oh no. Oops. Let's take the Righteous Valkyrie. Thank you, opponent. Thank you, opponent. Good game. Raptor K. Let's do this. Yeah, we go first. We have 3 lands. Prosperous Innkeeper, Chariot, Wrenn and 7, Storm the Festival. I mean, we have Ramp on turn 2, Chariot and a Wrenn and 7. Living the dream. So, this can be white, green, blue. It doesn't really matter how we do that. Let's lead with this on white. We only need 1 blue, so we only have to use that once. Tap land for the opponent, so we're going green. Into an Innkeeper. Boom. Now we can go Chariot into Yasharn if we don't hit another land. Well, we need at least 1 more, I guess. Oh. Okay, destroying targets. So let's go ahead and throw this out on blue. Now they know our sneakiness. So I throw Chariot now, they just kill it. By throwing Yasharn, I guarantee more land drops. Or land drops that are untapped next turn, I should say. So yeah, that's a little backwards there, but I guess I'm fine with them paying 1 land and sacrificing that at the end of the day. But we went a different route. We went Yasharn first. Old Growth Troll, good play. Brutal Cathar, I'll take it. Well, that changes our plans up. So now we are going to throw the Cave of the Frost Dragon because we're going to throw the Brutal Cathar. We're going to go ahead and eat that Old Growth Troll, get that out of our way. And then we are going to swing in for 4 with Yasharn. Boom, down to 16. Pass it back to Raptor. They could have a fight spell, but once again, they will need 1 more snow-covered forest to do the indestructible. Raptor has slowed down. Are we good? Okay, we got a Ranger class. I mean, we didn't get lands really well either, even though they're not. We have our cards that got us land, so that's kind of what's helping us there. There's the Blizzard Brawl, but they're going to go ahead and lose their Wolf too, but they do get a 4/4 back. I think they're okay with that exchange. Here they come in with their 2/2 no blocks. So we'll go ahead and throw that out. I think we go Chariot, Wrenn and 7 next turn. Let's do it. Chariot. And then I think I'm okay with trading, if that's what they want to do. And if they want to attack into us, we'll just block, we'll just let them have, yeah. Okay, now they're going to take the trade. Cool. That's fine. They got 4 lands now, which is something they probably wanted. But I feel okay in this position because next turn we're going to go Wrenn and 7, token, swing a Chariot, new token. Living the dream. They're going to do... Oh, okay. So we're good there. We're fine with that. I mean, yes, we're not living the dream anymore, but they just took one of their creatures out, and the best they can do is throw another Old Growth Troll. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and throw out the... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So... I mean, we know we have juice in the Wrenn and 7. Let's Wrenn and 7.
Those who
and then no attacks end the turn, and then next turn we'll Storm the Festival. When it's more of a gamble. Like, why gamble when you already have the, you know, the aces in your hand? Or, I guess in that case, gamble. they're going with the full-on inscript, but they're not indestructible, right? So they're gonna lose theirs. That was their whole turn. Okay, so we'll just... Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's get Chariot back on deck. Let's just get Chariot back on deck. I know we have the Storm the Festival, but we don't need it. And now we can go ahead and just... We'll just go ahead and plus that up. Oh, those were good cards to whiff for Storm the Festival. I am super glad we did not use that now. Let's go ahead and get in for... Yeah, they could come at us with the Faceless Haven and we still have Protectors, so we're fine. Let's go ahead and just get in. And then... And the turn, pass it back. I mean, they do have 2 4/4s that they could bring out at the end of their next turn. That's not really effective. Okay. They got all the old growth trolls. Briar Bridge Tracker coming out. Their hand's almost emptied. They can't bring out either old growth troll this turn. They have literally emptied their hand on us. Okay. Let's go ahead and take our turn. Another Storm the Giant. Okay, Storm the Festivals. We can actually do this now in case we hit something where we want to drop the land afterwards. So let's go ahead and storm it up. Dang it, I didn't do this first, which is a huge misplay. Huge misplay. I could have made a token and then done this. So we're still going to grab the Wren. We're going to grab the Tilda. We're going to keep the bigger one. It was a huge misplay right there, but I thought maybe I'd be able to use one of their other abilities. That was silly of me. Let's go ahead and drop this now. Make that bigger. Let's go ahead and fire that up with an 8/8. And I'm okay with swinging in with that. Yeah, let's swing in with the 4/4 for now. Make a copy of that. Next. And if they want to block it, I'm fine with that. Cool. We've got 2 8/8s, 2 Storm the Festivals. 2, human. So this is a human. That's a halfling. So this is, we're only 1 land away from even flashing this back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9. That comes out tapped. That comes out tapped. They just lost all their land. We have 2 huge 8/8s. You can fire that up all day long and swing in. There they go. They're going to go ahead and sacrifice that clue and draw a card. Play a land. Tell me you hit a land. Okay. Nighttime. So let's go ahead and use this first. Oh, I hope we don't hit something we wanted from the Storm the Festival. No, that was okay. That was okay. Now, let's go ahead and Storm the Festival. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So let's take the Chariot. They have nothing left in there. They have a card in their hand. I'd much rather have a Brutal Cathar. Let's go ahead and throw the... Let's throw the Field of Ruin. Surreal. Like it. Opponent goes first. We have 3 lands, and they are all white. 2 Amarius Calls, unfortunate, and a Plains. Brutal Cathar, Felder Retreat. So, I mean, our supporting cast is also white cards. Test of Talent, Ren, and 7. We're not using Test till late game board wipe situations. Ren is late game. Let's do a nice greedy keep and see what we draw here. We need both green cards and green lands. Interesting. Oh, Overgrown Tomb is a good one. Let's go ahead and put this out tapped. We're not going to be casting that anytime soon. Now we got some lands over here. Is our opponent playing green? Do they have the pack leader? We're playing a little Gruul over here. Ranger class it is. Nice. Nice turn 2 play. Oh, can't cast it though. Can't cast it because the yeah, I can't even do it this turn. Should have put that out on turn 1. Well, now we put it out tapped. We pass it back. Let's see what our opponents got. Do they fire at Ranger class, swing for 3, call it a day? That'd be ideal for us. That or maybe Reckless Stormseeker. Werewolf Pack Leader. Okay. I really like the other option for us, because then when we eat it with Brutal Cathar, they get nothing back, but that's okay. So now we go farmland into Brutal Cathar. Go ahead and eat the Werewolf Pack Leader. I think maybe I should have still ate the token, because if they fight this right now, if they have another snow and they fight this, or fight it period, they get their... See, there's that. Now they're going to fight it, and they get their Werewolf Pack Leader back, and they can fire up Ranger class. They don't have the Blizzard Brawl. If they do, they didn't need to do that yet. We're not going to be blocking. No blocks. There's no way they passed the turn. They passed the turn and gave us nighttime. Okay. Well, this opens up a whole new world for us. How do we want to do this? I want to be able to counterspell. So I think I'm going with the Prosperous Innkeeper for the Test of Talents. Throwing out the Amarius Call. Tapped. I mean, we have... If they attack with that, we can't block. So we're just going to attack, and then we might be chump blocking with the 1/1. Hopefully they try to double spell this turn. That'd be ideal if they threw 2 spells. Dang it. That's 1. I don't think they're going to throw a second spell, which is what I wanted. Trample, Indestructible, and Haste. And okay. Jump block the 4/4. Take 5. So we've got to get this back to daytime, so I have to cast 2 spells here. No land yet, no land yet. So we go Feldar's Retreat. I can't do that, can I? How do I get 2 spells off this turn? Because that's indestructible, so a 5/5 run and 7 token isn't going to work anyways. So I think I have to cast the Scoot Swarm. Drop the land. Play a Tangled Florahedron. Swing in for 3 at... the Planeswalker. Flips. Eat the token. Pass it back. I wish I had Test of Talents up. So bad. They had to have top decked a kill spell, or they would have been using one. They haven't. I was 1 land away. Next turn we can go Ren and 7. But then, oh yeah, and we'll still have the land with the token and the Tangled Florahedron. Okay, they go with the Pack Leader.
We'll catch them by surprise.
So they're going to probably wait. They're supposed to wait till our turn. That's why you do that. That way your creatures have flash. And that way you can flip this back over. So they don't do it. Okay, so they just want to come in now, huh? I mean, I'm going to be blocking with 1/1s. They double spell. So they did not... Okay. Interesting. If they would have done both of those on our turn with flash... I don't know. Sometimes people confuse me. So... I'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 Ren and 7 token. If I throw that out, and that can start blocking that, and I can still counterspell something if they have a fight spell. I really want that Feldar's Retreat on deck. So if I throw this, I think I throw the Ren and 7 and I don't throw the land. Even though I'm going to miss a 1. So let's go ahead and get ourselves the 5/5. Oh, then I have a 5/5. I need a 6/6. Just doesn't work. No attacks. End the turn. I'm really wanting them to pass and go to night. And then I could pass, go to, or double spell, go to day. Okay. They're going to go ahead and do that again.
The darkness
They're supposed to pass the turn. That's not a creature. Oh, it still gets it? Until your next turn, you may cast creature spells that have flash whenever it enters the battlefield. Got you. Okay, so we're building up a fortress on both sides. There is the Chariot, huh? I want to do it, but we need to get a bigger board, I think. We're going Feldar's Retreat. We're going to go ahead and zero out the red and 7. Oh my goodness. We'll throw this out on blue, just have a natural blue out there. Let's go ahead and get +1/+1 to all of our creatures. Get ourselves some tokens there. Wow! We came out of it. Look at those board states. Okay, Brew Crew, that is going to do it for BANT Midrange. And wow, can this deck not only go wide, but get big and do it fast. It is incredible to watch. It's even more fun to play, believe me. You're going to enjoy it. Only a few little changes, I think. I'm definitely going to be dropping the Catilda. Just one of, and it didn't do enough for me. And this Brutal Cathar is just an all-star, in my opinion. I love it so much. I was almost thinking about taking out either a Redain or a Scoot Swarm for a third counter spell of your choice. I like the Test of Talents at the moment, so that's one thing you could do. Maybe is just consider these maybe some flex spots, and you could kind of just mess with those a little and take them out and either add another counter spell or anything that you want to. I mean, we don't have a whole lot to button up. I wouldn't put another Yasharn in the deck. Probably wouldn't put another of those. So if you just really want another Spellbinder or Brutal Cathar and or some more Test of Talents. The only other thing you could do to really manipulate the deck, in my opinion, is going to be, like I said in the intro, you could swap out Test of Talents for the counterspell of your choosing, depending on how you're seeing the meta at the moment. But I'm going to keep playing Test of Talents. I think it's fun. So, you know, I guess those are kind of your flex spots. Other than that, keeping it how it is. Okay, what should we craft and what shouldn't we craft? Redain is an amazing card if you don't have at least one. I mean, if you're going to play this deck, maybe you don't just craft one, because you kind of want 2 or 3 in most decks, but I don't think there's anything wrong with crafting it. Scoot Swarm sees enough play to where I think it's okay to craft one. You know, it's not the best card in the world, but I think it's safe to craft. Brutal Cathar, I think, is amazing. I think you can craft away on those. Elite Spellbinder, great card, craft away. Feldar's Retreat, that's a buyer's beware. It's a great card in the decks it goes in. You're not going to be just splashing it in a whole lot of other kind of decks because it's kind of a build around, so keep that in mind. I guess the same thing could be said about Scoot Swarm. It's kind of a build around, so keep that in mind. Asikia's Chariot, if you don't have 4, get 4 and start playing green or splashing green to play it. The card's amazing. 3 Yasharns. It's another one of those cards that I think is really good, but kind of goes in niche decks. I don't think there's anything wrong with crafting it, though. You're not going to be hating it later, because you will play it in other decks, but you're not going to play it in a bunch, so keep that in mind. Ren and 7, even though they're expensive, craft away. You want 4. I don't think that's going to change when Crimson Vow comes out. Storm the Festival. I mean, I think this is a safe buy, because they are decent, but maybe that changes with Crimson Vow. Maybe the meta gets a little faster. I don't know. This could be another one of those buyer bewares you choose. It's okay if you want to get it, but it's okay if you don't, I think. Amaria's Call is technically land, and if you're a Brew Crew subscriber, then you know that land is always a safe craft, in my opinion, because they go in so many different kind of decks, and that goes the same for any rares or mythics that might be, which there are not mythics, but in the land section. Craft away on those, have fun, and enjoy your land in every single deck. So, I would really like to know what you thought about this deck down below in the comments, or anything else that you'd like to tell us. So that's the deck. Go ahead and leave us a comment down below letting us know what you thought of this deck, or just anything else that you would like to tell us. Please hit that subscribe button. It is completely free, super fast, but it really helps support us here over at the channel. Hit that notification bell so that you know whenever we have new content come out. And as always, until next time, have a blast in the arena.